happening here. Then the next thing you know, we had an advertisement coming out in the newspapers saying we show no mercy. Let's have that up on the screen. Yeah, the police had launched, the Kaituns had launched this attack on the police command, claiming discrimination against Mirai. Baram Sassad, yes, who was charged for treason, and he was released by when the PPP came into power, and Mr. Ram Narain. And they're calling for the return of Gajraj and all this kind of stuff. Good. So now, then the next thing you knew, they had this ad. Show no mercy. Bandits have declared war on business people. They shoot to kill. Almost daily, Guyana is losing her best investors and job creators. The security forces owe citizens a duty to meet force with force. I'm going to read the rest, although you can't see it here. Our business community must enlist in this fight. Be vigilant, be prepared. Get involved in legitimate self-defense. No quarters must be given. Show no mercy to ruthless and cold-blooded killers. Stop them now before they get us all. And then they had a photograph of Mr. Rambaran, and they under that they said he was gunned down by bandits on August the 15th. To date, no arrest. All right? Good. Now why don't you follow the course of what we're doing here. Now we show you another. This is one that we received today. This is an advertisement that came in. Okay, this is an advertisement that came in with the same show no mercy, but it seems to be a play on that advertisement. And we'll have that up on the screen now. Okay, in the meantime, until they get that set, let me read you also. Okay, good. All right. Now, this is a play. Now, this is an ad that came in to Taking Care of Business Today. And it reads here, you can't see it properly there, so I'm going to read it to you. Okay? It says racists. Remember the ad that was in Kaichur News said bandits have declared war on business people. This ad says, it says the same thing, show no mercy. Racists have declared war on African people. They shoot to kill. Almost daily, Guyana is losing her best sons to jails and racist killers. The security forces owe citizens a duty to meet force with force. Our African community must enlist in this fight. Be vigilant, be prepared. Get involved in legitimate self-defense. No quarters must be given. Show no mercy to ruthless and cold-blooded killers. Stop them now before they get us all. And they have the photograph of 16-year-old Delon Headley, who was the young man who was gunned down in Buxton on Friday night. And it says here, that's the young man there, 16-year-old Delon Headley. And it says here, gunned down by racists on August the 26th. To date, no arrest. And this ad was signed by, let me see here. Okay, this ad that we received was signed by Jean-Paul Dessalines. Okay, Winnie Mandela and Robert Mugabe. Okay. And why are you guys laughing out there? What's wrong with that, with these names here? I see they have all kinds of names on letters in the Kaicho News and Starbucks News. All kinds of names, so. And then they even go so far as to say, sometimes they have a letter and they say, name and address supplied. You don't know who sent it in, so. These are the persons who sent in this ad here, right? Jean-Paul Dessalines, remember he was the great Haitian liberator. Winnie Mandela, the great South African freedom fighter against apartheid, and Robert Mugabe, who was taking the liberation one step further by retaking the lands that were stolen from the African people in Zimbabwe. God bless all three of those great African leaders. Okay, we'll take a quick break, go to our sponsor and when we return, we will be looking at a release from Jihad, and then we'll open the phones for discussion. Okay, we're back. I'm taking care of business. And in case you just joined us, we're discussing the assault on the community of Buxton. I'm going to read you here an extract of most of it. Actually, I just leave out 2 paragraphs. A release from the Joint Initiative for Human Advancement and Dignity, Jihad. It's headed "Enough is Enough, Hands Off Buxton. Hands Off African Youth." On Friday evening at 8:45 p.m., a truck drove through the village of Buxton along the railway embankment road, where a large number of villagers, including children, were gathered. Cowardly killers concealed in the tray of the truck opened fire indiscriminately into the crowd, clearly trying to kill and injure as many people as possible. Delon Headley, age 16, was murdered. O'Neill Adams, age 19. Delroy Scott, 19. And O'Brien Smith, 18, were injured. O'Brien Smith remains in hospital in serious condition. This act of terrorism marks a turning point in the struggle of the Guyanese masses for a better life. The loss of this innocent life will not be in vain. Delon will be honored and remembered as a martyr. His name and his brutal murder will be burnt into Guyanese history. Remember Rosa Parks, who refused to give up her seat to a white man on a bus in Alabama, that's the United States. Remember Emmett Till, who was murdered by white racists in Mississippi. Remember 12-year-old Hector Peterson, the schoolboy who was murdered by the apartheid police in Soweto, South Africa. Delon Headley will similarly be remembered. His murder will make the resistance stronger, more unified, and better organized. We say enough is enough. When a truck filled with assassins can drive through your village and open fire on unarmed citizens, then you are at war. The village of Buxton has been engaged in such a war for some time. Remember the murder of Shaku Blair in his bedroom by Police Superintendent Mirai's group? Under these circumstances, Jihad supports the villagers' undeniable right to arm, to erect roadblocks, and to defend themselves by any means necessary. Today, August the 29th, the Mothers Committee in memory of Delon Headley was launched in Buxton. The mother, aunts, and grandmother of Delon Headley, with other women of the village, have come together to send a clear message to the death squads stalking our children that enough is enough. The Mothers Committee is calling on President Barra Jagdeo to bring the murderers of Delon Headley to justice. We want these criminals caught, tried, and punished, and we will not rest until we get justice. Janet Headley, Delon's mother, wishes to send a message to all the mothers of Guyana that we must use this tragedy to prevent the further killing of our children. Delon's death must not be in vain. African children are murdered all the time with no questions asked, and it must stop. We call on mothers of all races to join with us in our sorrow and outrage and demand an end to this tyranny. Jihad salutes the children of Curtis McCalmon Campbell. Buxtonians say that their courageous and disciplined defense of the village has prevented the deaths of many more black youths. The people are well aware of the Dirty Tricks campaign being waged and the attempt to provoke Buxton at this time. However, Buxton will not be provoked and will continue its dignified and disciplined resistance to all forms of oppression. When the state and its various arms fail to protect the people and are in fact attacking the people, then the people have a right to arm and to defend themselves. The children of Curtis McCalmon Campbell issued an open letter to the police in May this year stating that they have no fight with the police and urging the police to stop being manipulated into fighting for the masters and oppressors who have none of our interests at heart. That letter was sent to every newspaper and TV station in Guyana. No newspaper ever made mention of this letter or the many other communiques they received from the resistance movement in Buxton. And apart from Channel 9, none of the TV stations carry the releases. What is a media that suppresses a whole side of a story? It is a biased, compromised, and bought-out media. Lying and deliberately withholding vital information from the public only further discredits the media. The people will inevitably come to know the truth. You cannot silence the resistance. The revolution will not be televised or be forced understood in the written word. Revolution starts in the hearts and minds of the people and is unstoppable. Tyranny will always be met with resistance. Freedom or death. Jah lives. Allahu Akbar. National Directorate, Joint Initiative for Human Advancement and Dignity. Jihad. Okay. Before I open the phones, just let me, I have the Constitution here. And Article 38A, and that was, I think, a very powerful statement from Jihad. And it's good to see that there are other people standing up for the rights of the people in Guyana and not being cowed by the present regime and its armed killers and bullies. It's good to know that we have others who will stand up and fight for true democracy. I'm sure that you all would be happy to support Jihad in this work, and you can reach Jihad at 227-1035. 227-1035. That's their office number. All right, Article 38A of the, you know, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and this Constitution says in Article 38A, listen to this, to ensure that Guyana is a democratic state with a healthy economy, the state shall, and they have A, B, C, D, I'm going to D, the state shall provide appropriate support to any group which is or is claiming to be under threat of marginalization. Right? That's the Constitution says that. Now, leaders of the African community, ACDA, the PNC also, although they say that they're not, I think I could be, which is understandable, political party running for office, but reality is that we all know 95% or more of African Guyanese vote for the PNC. And ACDA has come out and said that Africans are marginalized. And the Constitution says that to ensure that Guyana is a democratic state with a healthy economy, the state shall do this, provide appropriate support to any group which is or is claiming to be under threat of marginalization. Is the PVP government doing this? You can answer the question. Now, another one I want to read is 38G, Article 38G, Paragraph 1. And this says this: the integrity of the public service is guaranteed. No public officer shall be required to execute or condone irregular acts on the basis of higher orders. You know why I'm reading this one? Because sometimes the police tell you that they get orders to do A, B, and C. The Constitution says that you cannot execute or condone irregular acts